Hello everyone, and welcome back to your boy, the SeanDavieWay Show. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in and tap that bell if you would like to be notified of all of our future content. Today, I bring you another installment of Surviving Beyonce. We tapped on her and Aaliyah's relationship, whether they were cool, whether they weren't, whether there was problems between the two, or just simply misunderstood. I will also give you an update on the Cathy White story. If you don't know who Cathy White is, she was an industry publicist and health fitness expert. She was rumored to be seeing Jay-Z before she passed away in 2011. So I'll give you an update on that, as well as the story of Beyonce and Aaliyah. Without holding you any further, let's jump right into it. We ended the last Surviving speaking on Destiny's Child's music video for the song Survivor. That video came out in April 2001, and Aaliyah passed away in August of 2001. So when people stated that it was inappropriate for Destiny's Child to make this video after what just happened to Aaliyah, again, the music video came out prior to Aaliyah passing away, months, okay? April, the music video was shot and debuted, and Aaliyah passed away in August of 2001. So months after the video was created. It still doesn't mean that the conspiracy theory that people have about the Survivor video and the Rock the Boat video are not true. And here's why I state that. In the Destiny's Child video of Survivor, it was a shipwreck and not a plane crash. So people stating like, oh, they're pretending as if they survived a plane crash. No, not at all. It was a shipwreck, and they survived the shipwreck. And the video depicts them on the island stating that I made it, I survived. And it also was supposed to symbolize the group's resilience in the face of a public scrutiny, internal struggles, turning negatives into positives, message of strength and perseverance. So at the time, Destiny's Child was a revolving door with the members. You had LaToya and Latavia, then Farrah, all booted out of the group, and Beyonce got the majority of the scrutiny for it because everyone has always looked at her as the lead of the group, and her father was the manager and creator of said group. So Beyonce was running a lot. And her do girls, which would have been Kelly and Michelle, and I do call them do girls because they are. They were just backing up their girl, Beyonce, in the video. Like, yeah, you are the survivor, not us as a group. So when Destiny's Child sat down and spoke on how this is what the video was about, showing how they survived, regardless of all of the changes that the group went through, we still stand firm. Side note, I know some people will side-eye and say, well, Sean, why are you calling Kelly and Michelle do-girls? Because they are. Destiny's Child belongs to Beyonce, and it became full circle on the Cowboy Carter tour when Destiny's Child came on stage, and they left the stage and introduced Destiny's actual child, which would be Blue Ivy. That was them passing the torch to Blue. This is why I think Blue Ivy is going to start off in a music group before she stands out on her own. And to give you a small example so we can move on with this video and how Kelly and Michelle are do-girls, it's just as simple as this. Anytime Destiny's Child is reunited since the group broke up, it's always Beyonce reuniting the group. The other women are not allowed to do so. Kelly has been on many tours and she's about to go on tour with Brandy and Monica, and you will not see Beyonce come out there on that stage because Beyonce runs Destiny's Child. Same thing with Michelle. Michelle goes on tour right now or jumps on a tour. She's not reuniting Destiny's Child on stage because Beyonce controls the group. Again, yes, Beyonce has collaborated with both women, and this is why Destiny's Child was still a thing. After Destiny's Child disbanded the group, the only time the group reunites on stage is if Beyonce is doing something. Rather it's a Super Bowl performance, rather it's Coachella, or rather it's one of her tours. Other than that, we do not see DC3. Moving right along. Back to the Survivor video. The video's narrative starts with a shipwreck, transitioning to the members changing clothes and exploring the island. Culminating in a dance break in a deserted temple, the overall theme of survival is reinforced through the visual imagery of the island setting and the group's strong, confident demeanor. The song and video were released during a period where Destiny's Child faced public criticism and lineup changes, making the Survivor theme particularly resonate. That is how Destiny's Child and or Beyonce would like you to view the video, that their group was going through a lot of issues at the time and they survived it, and the group overall survived as well, and they're going to keep on surviving. Or it could be a direct subliminal towards Aaliyah. And why I say that is because music videos shoot off subliminals all the time. Sometimes you'll see a video and then you won't even realize the meaning of the video until like years later. And I think the song is more so like a double meaning type of song. Like, yeah, you could look at it as the group surviving, or you could look at it as Beyonce saying that she's going to survive and keep on surviving, and Aaliyah is not. The conspiracy theory is that Beyonce did this video to show that she championed Aaliyah by outliving her. And then a lot of people think that that's crazy. Why would Beyonce do that? Blah, blah, blah. Beyonce is definitely a planner. Why would she be doing a video in 2001 about her group staying together, them surviving, them not breaking up, we're going to keep going, yada, yada. For that same year, for her to come public with Jay-Z after Aaliyah passes away, gearing up for her solo career. Beyonce went solo after her and Jay-Z went public. In 2003 was the last time Beyonce and the group Destiny's Child were together creating music, but it was already transitioned for her to leave, because in 2003 was when she dropped her first solo studio project. That was already happening during the time of her doing the Survivor video and making that album with Destiny's Child. She was already preparing to leave the group. So why are you sitting here telling us that you and your group members are going to survive, you're going to keep on surviving, while you're in the studio on the other side of town getting ready to leave this same group? And made it official 2 years later. Again, she was in contract, so Beyonce couldn't just walk away. Under Columbia's contract, they still owed them albums as Destiny's Child. So she hurried up and got in the studio and fulfilled. That's why they called the last album Destiny Fulfilled, because Beyonce was already ready to leave the group. Which brings me back to Aaliyah's Rock the Boat music video, Subliminals. At the end of the Rock the Boat video, Aaliyah swims towards the light and the video fades to black, giving like she passed away. But remember, she did that before she died. So it's giving somebody knew that something was going down. And I believe that Hype Williams was referencing, which was the director of that video, was directing Aaliyah leaving the world, leaving the industry. And jumping back to the Survivor music video was more so of Aaliyah subliminally handing Beyonce a torch that Aaliyah didn't know she was giving her. Beyonce wanted everything that Aaliyah had. That's why she looked up to her. But Beyonce is very jealous-hearted when it comes to anybody having the attention of Jay-Z. At that point, Aaliyah had Jay-Z's attention for about 2-3 years, but Aaliyah just wasn't necessarily going to be with Jay-Z. Like, she just wasn't really that interested. She just wasn't feeling him like that. But at the same time, she didn't mind Jay-Z. So who knew? Something could have definitely came about with the two. But Beyonce came through and made sure that that did not happen. I believe from the day Beyonce laid eyes on Jay-Z, she wanted him. And she would do whatever she had to do to make sure she got her man. And she did just that. So am I saying that Beyonce is responsible for Aaliyah's death? No, I couldn't say that because I don't have substantial evidence to be able to prove so. But if someone was telling me that she was or had something to do with it, I would not be shocked at all, because Beyonce goes hard for her man. And in the rest of this video, I'm going to show you how hard Beyonce goes for her man. But I do believe that this was more so of the industry passing the torch to Beyonce, because there are certain things that Aaliyah wouldn't do that Beyonce would. And one of those main things would be to be the king and queen with Jay-Z. The industry, the higher ups, the alum, the elite wanted Aaliyah to be with Jay-Z. So they put Jay-Z on her like, yeah, you need to get her so that we can connect you two together and we could profit off of both of you at the same time. Aaliyah was not down, but guess who was? Beyonce. They have always done everything together, a lot of collaborations. They've done albums together, tours and whatnot together. That is what the industry wanted Aaliyah to do with Jay-Z. Aaliyah said no. Aaliyah was not interested. And then all of a sudden, she's gone. And we looked up the same year Beyonce and Jay-Z go public when they had been together. So if you're already with this man, you could have been said something about y'all being in a relationship. Why wait till Aaliyah passes away till all of a sudden you're the new king and queen of R&B and hip hop? Let me know what you think. I stated before that Beyonce goes hard for her man Jay-Z, and that's definitely true. Beyonce did the album Lemonade, and I believe that the album was about all of the infidelities that she's faced with Jay-Z while being in a relationship to engagement to marriage with him. They've been together over 20 years, so I'm sure there's been a lot of infidelity. Just like music videos, music can be very subliminal. There was a poem that Beyonce read during her Lemonade video series and on her album, and I feel that Beyonce was talking about Aaliyah. If you think that Beyonce was talking about Cathy White, which we're going to drift into right after this, I don't think so. I think it's too on the head, but with Anger on the Lemonade album, I think it's a direct subliminal about Aaliyah, and let's hear why. The poem that Beyonce read in Lemonade that I think has everything to do with Aaliyah, which is called Anger, went like this. If this what you truly want, I can wear her skin over mine, her hair over mine, her hands as gloves, her teeth as confetti, her scalp a cap, her sternum my bedazzled cane. We can pose for a photograph, all three of us, immortalized, you and your perfect girl. I don't know when love became elusive. What I know is no one I know has it. My father's arms around my mother's neck. Fruit too ripe to eat. I think of lovers as trees growing to and from one another, searching for the same light. Why can't you see me? Why can't you see me? Why can't you? Why can't you see me? Everyone else can. When Beyonce speaks and says, I can wear her skin over mine, her hair over mine, her hands as gloves, her teeth as confetti, her scalp a cap, her sternum my bedazzled cane, I believe she's talking about Aaliyah, meaning, I can be this person if you want me to. This is why I don't think Beyonce's talking about Cathy White, because whoever this woman is she's speaking of is someone she views as direct competition. Because if she felt like she looked better in Beyonce's song Resentment, she speaks of the confidence that she has with herself. Like, I see that you was, well, oh girl, but look at me. Like, look at what you have. So I would believe that song, Resentment, would have been more about Cathy White, somebody that Beyonce views as lower than her, as Beyonce being the better choice. This poem, Anger, gives whoever the woman is that she's speaking of, she feels that he prefers the other woman over her. So I can be her if you need me to. Beyonce also says, we can pose for a photograph, all three of us, immortalized, you and your perfect girl. I believe she's talking about Aaliyah. I don't feel that she's talking about Cathy White because Beyonce, in my opinion, thinks that she's prettier than Cathy. And I think the same thing. If I have to choose, my opinion, if I have to choose between Beyonce and Cathy White, I'm going to choose Beyonce every time. Not because Beyonce is better than Cathy. No, I think that Beyonce out of the two would be more of my type than Cathy. But if you add Aaliyah and Beyonce and put them next to each other, that's going to be a hard decision. But my decision would still be Aaliyah. I would still choose Aaliyah over Beyonce any day. Both of them are very beautiful women, but I view Aaliyah more of my type. Beyonce cool and everything, but Aaliyah was a down home, girl next door, let's grab a basketball or a baseball and go hit a ball. It's like she gives that vibe. Beyonce to me doesn't, you know, Aaliyah being sort of a tomboy and all of that. I just think that I will rock better with that than someone like Beyonce, who seems a little bit more stereotypical when it comes to hanging out. She only wants to go to certain places and things like that. Aaliyah was a partier. She liked to be around people, and she wasn't selective about the people she hung out with. She also wasn't afraid to show who she was and dance and have a good time. So I would definitely have chosen Aaliyah. So I could see Jay-Z choosing Aaliyah over Beyonce too. So when Beyonce says you and your perfect girl, in my eyes, I think that she's talking about Aaliyah to want to wear her hair and her hands as gloves and all of that. That means that I can't necessarily compete with this individual. So if you can't beat them, join them. I don't think she ever had that thought process when it came to Cathy White. I think she always felt that she could beat Cathy because she did. Beyonce also says in the poem, why can't you see me? And she says it multiple times. And then she says, everyone else can. Again, a direct reference, in my opinion, to Aaliyah. When Jay-Z and Aaliyah were together, everyone noticed. Jay-Z truly cared about Aaliyah, in my opinion. I think that he really loved her. He was there at her funeral, all of those things. You know who wasn't at Aaliyah's funeral? Beyonce. But anyways, I digress. He was there, Jay-Z. So watching Aaliyah be put to rest, I think that was a very bittersweet moment for him. Bitter because she passed, sweet because Dame Dash, his direct competition, who came through like a thief in the night and took Aaliyah away from him. So again, bittersweet. And when it comes to Beyonce, I think it was the same thing. I think it was bittersweet. I think it was bitter because Aaliyah passed away, but sweet because now that position is open. Now there's a lane of a very unique individual, which was Aaliyah. This made it even more dire for Beyonce to get out of the group Destiny's Child because now that lane has been opened. It's time to go. We gotta get out as soon as possible. And I think this is where the energy between her and her father really started to hit the surface, to where Beyonce was not happy with her management because Matthew was gearing and pushing her to stay in Destiny's Child as long as he could before she went solo. So that's just how I feel. Back to the poems where Beyonce says, everyone else can see me, why can't you? Gibbs, everyone else is attracted to me, wants to be with me. I'm one of the Hollywood it girls. Everybody was chasing after me. But with you, it's like, you don't see me. Why? Why can't you see me? Everyone else can see me. Like, what's your issue? Everybody else wants to be with me. Why do you have me and you don't want me? Like, what is going on here? How can I fix this? Is what Beyonce was saying. Like, really wanting him to see her directly, not around her, not the things that she brings to the table. Again, this started off as a partnership between Jay-Z and Beyonce for music, and Beyonce whole time was head over heels for Jay-Z. I don't think Jay-Z was ever really that interested in Beyonce. I think Jay-Z was still heartbroken that Aaliyah passed away and that he wanted to be with her. Body language definitely speaks. And Beyonce and Aaliyah's photos that they did take together, I do think that Beyonce wanted people to think that she liked Aaliyah. But to me, Aaliyah has discernment, and her discernment let her know this girl is not for you. And I think the reason why Beyonce didn't necessarily care for Aaliyah was because, again, Jay-Z. And Aaliyah wasn't interested in Jay-Z in that realm to where she wants to be in a relationship with him and all that. It never really got there. On the verge of getting there, them lightly dating, but nothing serious like Dame Dash and Aaliyah or Jay-Z and Beyonce. So I think there was definitely whispers through the industry. Again, there was no social media around. And I think Beyonce may have said certain things to certain people and it got back to Aaliyah and Aaliyah wasn't feeling the comments. I also feel that Aaliyah felt a lot of girls were trying to be her, not happy for her success and whatnot. I was like, no, we're trying to replace you. They're already building factories and trying to issue out a bunch of Aaliyahs. And Beyonce was a direct copy paste of what Aaliyah had already done. Their styles were completely different and whatnot. And that did not work for Beyonce. Not at all. Not only was Beyonce wearing the clothes of Aaliyah, remember Beyonce said in the poem that, do I have to wear her skin, her teeth as confetti, yada yada. Beyonce's always had like blonde or brownish hair. She even changed her hair color to what Aaliyah gave to try to give Aaliyah. So when she said that she'll wear her hair and all of that, she was not joking. When I say Beyonce goes hard for Jay-Z, she goes hard for her man. She tried to transition into Aaliyah and try to be something again that she's not. Now, I think Beyonce looks good with black hair, but we're so used to seeing her because her natural hair color isn't black. It's more so of a fade of different colors on different sides of her hair. Like her hair texture is different, and also the color of her hair is well more so of a brownish auburn at times. You know, it just changes colors, kind of like some people's eyes change colors. Beyonce's hair naturally isn't just one distinctive color. So I feel that Beyonce was trying to imitate Aaliyah to keep Jay-Z interested in her. She literally did what she did in the poem. Tried to be Aaliyah, wear the clothes Aaliyah wore, tried to do some of the songs that Aaliyah would do, change her tone to how Aaliyah's was, the soft and raspy, type of voice and whatnot. She truly tried to take on the persona of Aaliyah. And again, with Aaliyah's discernment, I think this is why she was never really feeling Beyonce. Now we drift into an update of Cathy White, something we've never spoke about here on the SeanDavieWay show. Today, we will dive into it. The song Daughter by Beyonce, conspiracy theorists on TikTok claim is about Cathy White's unalivement. A conspiracy theory about Beyonce has gone viral online, suggesting that the song Daughter from her album Cowboy Carter is allegedly a confession to the murder of Cathy White. Cathy White, a former publicist in the entertainment industry, reportedly passed away from a brain aneurysm on September 1st, 2011, at the age of 29. Since her sudden passing, rumors have surrounded the circumstances. The TikTok conspiracy alleges Beyonce's involvement in White's death. TikTok user following the lyrics from the song claiming they hint at a murder. Quote, "Your body laid out on these filthy floors. Your blood stains on my custom coutures. Bathroom attendant let me right in. She was a big fan. I really tried to stay cool, but your arrogance disturbed my solitude. Now I ripped your dress and you're all black and blue. Look what you made me do." The theory further claims that Cathy White was allegedly pregnant with Jay-Z's child before she passed. After giving birth, White supposedly died under unclear circumstances. It also suggests that Beyonce's first child, Blue Ivy, is actually the daughter of White and Jay-Z. Do I think Beyonce took the life of Cathy White? I have no idea. Beyonce does give a for my man type of female that she'll do anything for the man that she loves, even getting rid of competition so that she can keep his direct attention. Very possible. I feel that she kind of did that with Aaliyah, so why would Cathy White be any different? When Cathy first passed away, it was unclear in the circumstances and why she passed. And then later on, it was revealed that a brain aneurysm is what actually took Cathy out. There was rumors that Cathy was dating a man at the time of her passing and her allegedly being pregnant when she passed away. So I would say maybe track him down because he's been a disappearing act ever since Cathy passed away. There was rumor that Cathy's home was disheveled as if someone was looking for something, and or maybe there was a struggle before her passing. So if you're passing away from a brain aneurysm, it kind of just happens. So if you're standing, you kind of fall to the floor. If you're already laying down, it kind of just, you're in an endless slumber. So I don't see why her home would have been disheveled, or it would have seemed that she would have been struggling, because from a brain aneurysm, again, it's just once you're here and then you're just not. Maybe Beyonce did go and confront Cathy about what happened. Who knows? If that was the end result, leaving her all black and blue and saying, "Look at what you made me do. I ripped your dress." Cathy was known for wearing dresses. You know, she always had a dress on. She was a very formal type of woman, from what I gather. All of the pictures of Cathy, she was always looking great, and she loved dresses. So I think this is also what is feeding the conspiracy that she was speaking of Cathy White. But again, only they know. I have no idea, but I do think that there's something here. I don't think that the conspiracy is completely off, but Beyonce taking the life, who knows? Maybe that's why they stated that it was an aneurysm and why it didn't make sense to where Cathy was gone so suddenly, because maybe Beyonce went and visited her and things got out of hand, and before you know it, her life was taken, and now we have to clean up the scene. Now we have to make it look as if this was accidental or she passed away to natural causes. So it's very possible. What do you think? Do you think Beyonce took the life of Cathy White? Let me know. The theory stating that Beyonce took Cathy's baby from her, I don't think that that's necessarily true. And why I say that is, the rumor is that Cathy wasn't far along. So if Cathy was not far along, how could Cathy have given birth to Blue Ivy and then Blue Ivy be taken away like a thief in the night? The pictures of Beyonce and Blue Ivy from the hospital, Blue Ivy was definitely a newborn when the picture was taken. So I would think that Beyonce would have had a surrogate before she took the life of Cathy White to take Blue Ivy and raise Blue Ivy as her own. Because who had the twins if Beyonce didn't have Blue Ivy? But there was footage of Beyonce allegedly faking her pregnancy when she came on certain shows and the belly deflated and whatnot. And Beyonce called everybody crazy when these pictures and stills from the video of her sitting down came out. And I would have to say, Beyonce, we're not delusional, you are. Because even I found that weird and suspicious too. If you're pregnant, just be pregnant. If you have a surrogate, then just have a surrogate. Why did you have to put on this big show for the world? Now, I will say, look at this. When Beyonce was pregnant with the twins, you can see in her face that it got fluffy, because women do gain weight in certain parts of their body when they are pregnant, like the nose, the face, the neck, the legs, the thighs. They gain weight in different areas. So when Beyonce was pregnant with Blue Ivy, she did not have pregnancy face. Look at when she was pregnant with the twins. She was clearly pregnant when she had them. But with Blue Ivy, her face is toned. She looks normal. She looks like she always did. And I don't know, even the unveiling of being pregnant with Blue Ivy, she was further along. So the puffiness to her face and her nose and stuff, that should have happened already. And it didn't. So what do you think? Did Beyonce take Blue Ivy and raise her as her own? Or did Beyonce get a surrogate? Or did Beyonce just simply give birth to her baby and we are all delusional? Let me know what you think in the comments below. In essence, the conspiracy alleges Beyonce took the life of Cathy White and is now raising her child Blue Ivy as her own. However, it is important to empathize that these claims lack any factual basis at the time of writing. There is no evidence connecting Beyonce or Jay-Z to Cathy White's passing, nor is there proof of White being pregnant before her passing. Side note, I'm going to have to agree with that. There is no factual proof behind these things besides a bunch of rumors. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I love you all. We will see you in the next installment. This story is a lot deeper than what people know. This is why we are revisiting the story. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And until the next one, I love you all. Bye.